All right. All right. We are live. Welcome to the Overrated Podcast, episode 4. This is Who We 186 back again with you guys. And let me, my friend, introduce himself.
Yeah. So, like you said, this is episode 4. This is the Traditionalist 101. You know how important it is for me to keep and hold on to tradition. But anyway,
You're gonna, you're
uh,
gonna, you're gonna, you're gonna be corny like that already?
hey, that's how it is, man. You know, we gotta hold on to tradition. We have to stay in our lane. That includes men and women, by the way. So not. But anyway, let's continue with our main topics here, and let's get the show on the road.
Okay. All right. So while I'm sharing the podcast right now. Um. No, just do some talking.
Who, me?
Yeah.
All right. So whatever it is that you're doing.
Sharing the podcast.
No, yeah. Go do your thing. But yeah, I'm actually looking, forward, for the topics that's going on. But in the meantime, whatever it is that you're doing, um, I, I'm not 100%. I'm probably around, let's say, like 95, 96 percent. Like I would, do a couple of coughing, here and there. And for those of you who didn't know what was going on, I basically, got COVID. And let me tell you, for those of you who haven't experienced it, and I really hope you don't, at least for me, it felt like I was in an ice box. My body was, in shock. They were, locking, in place, at times when I'm trying to go to sleep. And I didn't have, I had loss of taste. I had a high fever. What else happened to me? And yeah, I basically, had, a lot of chills. Oh, and my skin was really, really sensitive, really sensitive. It felt like a whole bunch of needles, was stabbing me every time I took a shower. So yeah, I still am not interested in getting the vaccine. I am, I have that, everything will be fine. And, my body actually, recovered. So I don't really necessarily think I need it, nor am I going to take it. So that's really, it for me and, my progress of, what I was going through. The
Yeah,
progress,
that's a big thing going on in the NBA right now with these some players not wanting to get the vaccine.
Oh, is it mandated that they
No,
should take it?
the huh?
Is it mandated in the NBA that they should take the vaccine?
No,
So I don't see what the problem is. Like, what's the big controversy if it's not even mandated in the NBA?
the problem is some teams, namely San Francisco, aka Golden State, and New York, it's required that you have proof of vaccination to be in large scale indoor buildings.
But just those two teams.
I mean, right now, yeah, but that also I believe that also includes the Brooklyn Nets and our favorite basketball player Kyrie Irving. Uh, you know, he doesn't want to get the vaccine. I forgot to do the banner. Shit, damn it. Let me do the banner. Yeah, so he doesn't want to take the vaccine. So
I mean, well, while you're doing that, this is not really part of the topic, but if we are going to continue to talk about land of the free and freedom of speech and all this other stuff, like stop violating it then. Like let these people live with their lives. Let these people continue on if they want to take the risk of like how
wait,
I'm
wait, wait,
taking.
wait, wait. I already know what you're gonna say, and let me stop you right there. You're not risking yourself, not just risking yourself. You're risking everybody else. And there's people out there who can fight the virus, and there's some people who can't. And if you're not going to, if they want to wear a mask, that's fine. But even you said that the mask isn't foolproof. I know you said that in the past.
Yeah,
But
and I stick by that.
that's fine. But if that's the case, then you have organizations that have to worry about everybody, not just it's not just the player. They have to worry about the staff in general, and they also have to worry about potential lawsuits and stuff like that if their employees and some of the high profile employees want to act like babies and not get the vaccine, right? And they're putting other people in danger. That it's not just about them. If it was just about them, then go ahead, do what you're gonna do. But it's not just about them.
Yeah, but
And
if everybody else is vaccinated, what's the problem? You can't if you got the vaccine and you got both. What does it matter if the other person is vaccinated or not?
huh?
What does it matter if the other person is vaccinated or not if you yourself are vaccinated? What's the problem?
I mean,
Like you see the
I don't know.
hypocrisy in that? Like that's the issue that I have. You worry that that everybody isn't vaccinated, but the people who are vaccinated, they'll be fine. At least that's what the purpose of the vaccine is for, right?
Yeah, but if they're carrying it and they're being careless with it, then like
Shouldn't you only worry about people who the person who did not get the vaccine? Shouldn't that person worry about if the person next to him didn't get the vaccine, not the person who did get the vaccine?
I mean, listen, viruses spread like wildfire. Like it's just how it is. And they have rules and mandates in place that like I said, if you want to do it, if you want to not if you want to do what you want to do, that's fine. But you have other people out there who are who are very much more susceptible to this virus than you are.
Okay, that's fine, but it's not in the contract. This
No,
is
no, well, that's part of the reason why it's not mandated, because it's not part of the agreement.
right. So again, stop stop.
But the problem is that it also opens them up to lawsuits if they're not enforcing, if they're not going to enforce mask mandates, if they're not going to enforce the laws of the cities that they're playing in, then like it's just how it is.
I think that's more of a state issue, not the NBA.
Well, they play in those states, and like I said, like again, I don't really want to talk about it, but you have some of these players who are making the decision that, oh, I might not play in home games, like Andrew Wiggins, and I'm like, you're willing to lose all that money just because of your quote fake religious beliefs? I don't like. I just find it to be dumb.
So all of a
And
sudden now their religious beliefs doesn't count anymore.
because I don't buy it. I don't buy it because honestly, I don't buy it.
In other
And
words,
and I do believe at some point he is going to get vaccinated. I don't know about Kyrie Irving, like if because he has some nah, I really don't want to talk about Kyrie Irving, but he seems like he's somebody who, I mean, if he really wanted to, he probably would leave, would not play basketball again if he had to get vaccinated, which is fine by me. So like it is what it is, man. Like I said, if you are if your employer said that you have to do something, you have every right to not do it, but you do have to deal with the consequences.
yeah, that's true.
That's how life is. Why am I echoing?
You
Yeah, I was echoing for a second.
um I don't know.
Hey, what's going on, Titanfall Princess? How you doing?
Who's that?
How you doing? That's she's a friend of mine.
Oh, what's going on?
Yeah. If follow her on Twitter. I wish you would make I wish you would make YouTube videos again, but I guess she's not on that right now. But follow her on Twitter. She's a great follow. She's a fighting game fanatic, and yeah. So she's one of my favorite followers on Twitter. So shout out to her. Okay.
Oh, well, is just fighting games? Because well,
No, no,
actually, Go ahead.
lots of different stuff. But she's like the reason why I follow her was because of the fighting game videos and her fighting game opinions. She's very knowledgeable in that area.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. All right. So like I said, we do have a bunch of topics that we wanted to get to. I want to do them. This one. I want to do very quick. Okay, all right. So I may return to YouTube maybe someday. I hope you do because we need those videos. And trust me, like if you do the live streams, and if I'm there, don't worry. I got the block button is strong. Remember, I got you. You got a bunch of people trying to troll. I got the block button. I got the block button there. I'm ready. I'm ready. But anyway, all right. So let's get to this first topic when it comes to Jon Jones. Let me do the screen share. All right, Chrome tab, Jon Jones. All right. So all right, you see it?
Ryan Meadows, who's that? What's up? What's up?
That's Randy. That's
So
Randy.
Randy just constantly changing his name. I see.
No, he's trolling us. This fucking guy.
Have you guys heard about the WWF star Nature Boy? Oh
This fucking guy,
gosh.
man. All right. Anyway, we don't worry, homie. We're gonna talk about it. All right. So let me scroll to the. All right. So let me read this here.
Yeah.
Details on Jon Jones' domestic battery and vehicle tampering charges remain slim, but a Nevada judge has ruled the case can move forward.
Hmm.
Um, I'm gonna skip the second part. It's not important. Jon Jones was released from Clark County Detention Center on Friday night after posting bail. He was arrested the same morning at Caesar Palace in Las Vegas, and his bail was set at $8,000. He was scheduled to appear in court on Saturday morning, but was rescheduled to October 26th. In justice courts per online records. All right, let me see.
Wow.
Let me see. Is there anything else? Is there anything else? Okay, and then we'll read some of the other stuff later. But anyway, Jon Jones is one of my. I don't want to say favorite fighters of all time, but in my opinion, I think he's the greatest fighter of all time, UFC fighter of all time, right?
Okay.
And unfortunately, his biggest rival has been himself. Just just years of just bad decisions, and unfortunately, this decision that he made regarding domestic battery, which is not which I believe is not the first time he's been accused of this. Like it to me, it just like I don't really know what to say because like this guy obviously one of the greatest mixed martial artists of all time, like I said earlier, but this constantly gets himself in these awful situations for himself. Like this dude should be. I mean, the amount of money that he's left on the table over the years is crazy to me. And
Yeah.
the only reason why he's still in UFC right now is because of his star power. Like people can say what they want about he's not as big a draw as Connor or Ronda back in her prime, which is true. The numbers show that. But when it comes to people, like people want to see people want to see this guy fight, like point blank, point blank. Period. They want to see him fight,
Agreed.
and
Agreed.
like I said, I thought it was BS that that Dana White was kind of playing head games when it came to the super fight with with the super fight with Francis Ngannou. Like everybody and their mother wants to see that fight. It's the fight that we all want to see, right? He's dominated the light heavyweight division. Like he before the arrest, there was topics about him, articles about him, gaining muscle, gaining weight, and stuff like that. We all want to see that fight. You know what I mean? But instead, they went with Derek Lewis and well, first it was supposed to be Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou. Then and got I guess UFC was so desperate to have a title fight in Houston that Francis wasn't ready, so they decided to do this stupid interim title fight with Lewis and Zero Gone won, and now we're getting Francis and Gone. I don't remember when. I think it's near later on in the year, and supposedly Jon Jones is supposed to be the next in line. Like he did say that before the arrest. He did say that he and Dana were they were in a good spot. Because Dana and Jon Jones have a very bad relationship. You know what I mean, to say the least. But they apparently are on good terms right now, and yeah. So the news of him, getting arrested again sucks for me personally. And before you go, Steve, let me just acknowledge Titanfall Princess. Yeah, you're right. Connor does have a big mouth, and now he can't his mouth can't cash the checks that his mouth can't how the saying goes. His mouth can't his ass can't. I don't remember, but his mouth keeps getting his ass beat. So yeah,
Well, I mean, you could say that he keeps getting his butt whooping, but that last fight, I'm not going to. Honestly, I believe that last fight he had he would have been fine if he had never
broke his leg.
yeah, broken his leg, because he did get a lot of good leg shots in. It's just unfortunate that now it just broke. But he was doing fine in that fight. The last time I've seen it, he was doing fine. So
All right.
I honestly think he probably would have won that fight if that incident had never happened.
All right. Well, all right. What about Jon Jones?
But
What's your
anyway,
opinion?
about Jon Jones, like he actually became one of my favorite fighters once he beat Rampage. I know that was a long time ago, but
Yeah.
the way how he finished him off, because I believe it was a chokehold, I believe it, if I remember correctly. And
Yeah, I don't. I remember the fight being kind of boring. I don't remember if he finished him off or not.
yeah, he finished him off, I believe, with a chokehold. I mean, there were moments where Rampage was looking at the clock, and he constantly kept on backing out, and that was a really big fight. It had a huge attention draw, especially when he was screaming, saying he wants his belt back, and all this other stuff. So ever since he beat him, he became my my favorite, one of my favorite UFC fighters. Now, when it comes to this, honestly, I think he needs help, and secondly, he probably knows that he's still a huge star and a huge tension draw. So he's gonna constantly make these mistakes until Dana
No, no,
White.
they're not mistakes. Like if you keep doing them over and over again, they're not mistakes. Like you said, you had it right the first time. He needs help.
Yeah, he needs
So,
help.
and I
That,
don't
that,
know if it's like mental or whatever. I'm sure some of it's mental, but this is the dude that needs to get his shit together, and he's too old to be acting like this.
I
Again,
agree.
we don't know the full story, but like when you're famous, and I always say this, right? When you're famous, you have to be more cautious of what you're doing out there. You have to be more cautious. You have to be more careful because you are a bigger target. You're a well-known
Yeah,
figure. You're a bigger target, so you have to be more aware. Now, before I let you go, let me acknowledge our friend Ryan Meadows. His mouth writes checks, his ass can't cash. That's the saying, and that's a perfect saying, right? He be
his
doing the
mouth.
talking, and then
Okay.
and then when he gets his neck cranked by Khabib, and when he gets his ass knocked out by Dustin in their second fight, and then his leg breaks, in the third fight, yeah, like his ass ain't cashing those checks. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but
so go
but
ahead, continue.
let me just say this real quick. He's still more relevant than all those other guys you named. A matter of fact,
Understood,
I think could be retired. I don't even think he's fighting anymore.
yeah, he
So
retired.
yeah, so at, at as of right now, he's still one of the biggest stars in the UFC. People want to see this
That's
guy
fine.
fight.
That's fine because but the reason why he's not relevant now is because now he's picking fights with Machine Gun Kelly. Like he's not doing it because he's winning. He's not doing it because of winning. Like his last win was against Donald Cerrone, who's washed. Like he's washed.
Wait, Connor's
And
washed.
yeah,
Connor's washed.
yeah,
The
yeah.
only reason why
Until he starts winning fights, his ass is washed.
he after the loss against Cowboy, he only lost what, two fights, right? Two fights.
No, he beat Cowboy. Then he lost. I think he lost. Well, first you got to remember before he took his break from boxing. I forgot what happened to him. Then I think he won. I think he beat Nate in the third fight.
Yeah.
Then he did the boxing thing with Floyd, which he lost. Right. Then he came back, and I think the first fight he had was against. I think the first fight he had was against Khabib.
No, I
In
think
my
it was
opinion,
Cowboy.
I don't remember. I don't remember the timeline.
Yeah, it was Cowboy.
I'll
That was the whole thing with Joe Rogan and Stephen A having their having their beef, because Stephen A was talking all that crap, saying we didn't learn anything from the fight that Conor had won. And then after that, yeah, that's when he fought. I think he fought Khabib after that. And then the whole scuffle with them, and him going to the crowd and all the other stuff. But again, the last fight that he had, he was doing fine in that fight. He didn't look washed to me. It wasn't like he wasn't putting a good performance. Again, he was mixing his strikes with kicks and everything. And
based on everything that I heard, he was losing that fight.
I'm gonna have to
That's what I heard.
I'm going to rewatch it, but it didn't look like he was losing that fight to me. At the very least, evenly matched probably. But I think he was doing fine. I
Okay.
think he was doing fine. But going back to Jon Jones, yeah, he does need help, and I cannot imagine how much money this dude had lost because of the fact that he just couldn't compete anymore, because of him getting in trouble, and him doing drugs. And here's the thing: I honestly believe the reason why a lot of people, stars, I should say, make these decisions of taking all these drugs and alcohol is pretty much, hey, that they can, they have the money, all they care about is doing the job, but also they want to party. That's all they want to do is just party hard and take drugs just because they can. You know what I'm saying? So Jon Jones, I feel like at this point in his career, people still want to watch him, and I still want to watch him, but I know for a fact that we're not going to witness the same Jon Jones like we did, back in, back in his prime. I think because if you notice, even though he's still been winning his fights, he's not the same guy like before.
He
He
hasn't
has
been
been.
finishing his fights.
What's that?
He hasn't been finishing fighters.
Yeah.
And
So
the same thing happened with George St. Pierre. Like George St. Pierre, when he was in his peak, he was finishing dudes left and right. He was finishing dudes. He was dynamic, and like he's still dynamic. And his last fight, he did finish Michael Bisping to win the middleweight title. But even before that, he wasn't the same fighter. But I think that's just more. I don't know. I just think it's more of a mentality more than anything else. I still think if Jon Jones if he still wanted to be light heavyweight champion today, I think he would be easy.
yeah, I agree with that, but we won't be able to see the same explosiveness and the same aggression that we are used to seeing. And
Oh yeah, in the heavyweight division, yeah, he's gonna have to be careful because like you take one bad shot, you're going lights out.
yeah,
And
you're going lights out, and because of the lack and participation, I should say, of
Hmm.
him, not fighting, other guys are constantly going to get better.
Yeah,
And
but like, have you ever like, had you ever? Was there a fight that he had where he was at risk of losing?
I think the only fight I could remember was the first him and Augustusson, the first one.
You know, people say that, and Gustafson, he did great in that fight. But I thought Jon Jones won 4 rounds, 4 of the 5 rounds in that fight. Like
It was a split decision though.
was it split? Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was split decision. But I thought he won. I thought he won 4 of those 5 rounds.
Yeah,
But
but even if all of the most of those rounds were close, and that dude was
yeah, they were. Yeah, they definitely were close.
Gustafson put damage on that dude. He needed to be helped to get out of the ring,
Yeah,
the
that's true.
octagon.
That's true. That's true. That's true. But even though he hasn't been finishing dudes, like I just feel like he's just a level above all these guys. That it just I just don't think that it's that I don't know. I just think that he's not motivated to finish these dudes off. At least in my opinion. But like I said, like that's enough about Jon Jones.
Yeah, yeah.
We need to get his shit together.
I'm ready to move on because all this does is just bring disappointment because and before we move on,
Mhm.
what was it true that he was supposed to fight Brock Lesnar, or was that just talk?
No, ultimately it was just talk. He challenged
Okay.
after he beat Daniel Cormier the second time. He he challenged Brock Lesnar, and then I think a couple. I know sometime later he got popped for PEDs.
Yeah, but can you but you see, this is what I was talking about though. Can you
Mhm.
imagine the money this dude would be getting if the fight with him and Francis, or the fight with him and Brock Lesnar, had actually happened? Holy
Yeah, but
cow.
here- but to me that's a Brock Lesnar thing because Brock Lesnar also did the same BS with Daniel Cormier after Cormier won the world title. Like he challenged Daniel Cormier, and what happened? He went back to wrestling. He went back to professional wrestling.
Oh,
You know what
but
I mean? Like
oh, okay, I think you're
they
right.
weren't. He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't serious about fighting, going back to mixed martial arts. He wasn't serious about that because honestly, he'll get his ass whooped, and he knows that.
Yeah, but he did fine when he came. He out Everybody was actually impressed that how well he performed, at least in the beginning of his career in the
Yeah,
UFC.
of course. Yeah, because he was a genetic freak who had a great wrestling background.
Yeah, I just wish that he had did more wrestling, but he constantly was trying to do strikes, and obviously that wasn't his strong suit. And when he lost against Alison Overeem, you saw that he was trying to do a lot of striking. I don't remember him trying to do that many takedowns. So I think Brock Lesnar was trying to prove that he could do more than just wrestle. But just stick to your guns. If it ain't, that old saying, if it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Don't try to make any changes. Just stick to your guns. And he didn't do that. But anyway, that's all I have to say.
All right, then. All right. Next topic is Ric Flair. Do you have the screen grab, or you want me to go get it?
Yeah, you could grab it. You could grab it because
Okay.
I think your internet is a lot faster than mine.
Okay. So yeah. So Ric Flair, one of the he's arguably he's in my Mount Rushmore for greatest wrestlers of all time. Right.
Yeah,
That goes without saying. Right. He's a phenomenal, professional wrestling. This dude is A1 in my opinion. He's in the top tier. Right. Now there was a documentary called Dark Side of the Ring. It's a documentary that's been around for a couple seasons, and they they talked about this infamous fight on a WWE trip for I forgot, it was for it was a European tour like some time ago. It was like damn what 20 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of wrestlers. They had a bunch of wrestlers there. And this was around the time when they had Ric Flair, and it was during it was the whole merger period.
Yeah.
When WCW went under, and they got absorbed by WWE, and they were starting to bring guys from some of the bigger names from that period. Like Ric Flair was there, the NWO was there, including Hogan. Plus they had The Rock and Austin and Jericho and all these names, right?
Big time.
Yeah. So they were on this flight, and it was the end of the tour. They were on the flight. It was a long tour. There was a delay at the airport, whatever, and then they went through a whole bunch of booze,
Mm-hmm.
right? Went through a whole bunch of, and mind you, wrestlers, especially back in those days, were very how would you call it? Like they were very damn, how would you say it? Like they were immature. This is for lack of a better term. They're very immature, right?
Okay.
And in this episode of Dark Side of the Ring, they had a the flight attendant who was there. The name escapes me. I apologize. The name escapes me.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But she went over pretty much her experience on that flight,
Yeah.
and the biggest thing to come out of that about that flight, and it was a lot of stuff that happened on that flight that was pretty crazy, right? Like obviously dudes were doing drugs and H bombing people and using syringes and stuff like that. There was a big brawl between Kurt Hennig and Brock Lesnar that did damage inside the plane. There are a lot of crazy shit going on in that plane,
Yeah,
right?
but if I remember correctly, Kurt Hennig was the one that started that fight because
Yes.
yeah, he what he do? He like what put what whipping cream or shaving cream on
Yeah,
Brock's
like
face?
Kurt Hennig, aka Mr. Perfect. He was known throughout his wrestling career as a bit of a jokester, right? Like he liked to play pranks on fellow wrestlers, and he and Brock Lesnar were friends,
Yeah,
right? So he decided to did the whole whipped cream on top of the head and splatted on his head, and then Brock Lesnar I guess wasn't happy about it, so they started wrestling on the plane. So that's
yeah,
what normal people do. They wrestle on inside of planes.
yeah. They want to cause havoc inside the plane that's 30,000 feet in the air. Well,
Yes.
but the thing with that, I know we're supposed to talk about Ric Flair. The
Hmm.
thing with that was I was very very surprised that people didn't try to break up the fight because
No, no. I mean, the fight got broken. I think the reason. I think okay, Brock Lesnar is a big dude. One, Kurt Hennig, he's not a small dude either.
yeah, he's a
Like he's
big
not
guy.
a small guy. Yeah, and I think it was just. I think is when they went close to the
Emergency door.
yeah, yeah, when they were like, oh, let's stop the fight. And according to what I hear, according to what I hear, you can't open the emergency door while you're in the air. Like it's kind of like physically impossible.
Yeah.
But you don't want to take that chance. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you have two. You have one guy that's the size of the Hulk. You know what I'm saying, and another guy who's basically the size of, I mean, I don't know, Colossus, I guess.
I mean
And
that's a stretch. That's a stretch. I would say I
it
would say
is.
Captain America.
All right, fine. You could put Captain America on there. Yeah, you have two huge gorillas fighting on the plane. I mean, look, if I was on the plane and you're banging against the the emergency door, and you're like, well, how he's like almost 300 pounds. Yeah, I'll be freaking out. Yeah, like the science of it or the physics of it, that all that is irrelevant to me. You know what I'm saying? At least at that moment, because you have two big guys who's fighting. I don't know if they were play fighting or not. I can't remember
Yeah,
if they
regardless,
were.
if
But
they're
yeah,
getting to the emergency door, it don't
you're
matter.
you're breaking seats, and using all that force against the against the door. That's just not something that you want to see. Not at 30,000 feet. Absolutely not. So yeah, I'm glad that it didn't get worse than it was. Well, actually, it did get worse, but we'll
Yeah.
continue with that.
So yeah. So all right, and the biggest thing that happened, at least in my opinion, and you can tell from the lady, from yeah, the lady. I apologize. I don't have her name. I don't have her name. I think her first name's Heidi,
Hmm.
but yeah. So she said that Ric Flair was the only thing he was wearing was his robe, and this is something that he's done before. This is something that he's done before, like in previous other flights in WWE. Those fucking scumbags. They had this cartoon short, kind of talking about one time that he did it, and mind you, this
Are we still talking about Ric Flair?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
where he did the whole only wearing the robe thing. He's done it before, right? And WWE, after the whole plane ride from hell thing, after the fact that they actually fired certain people after that flight, but didn't do nothing to Ric Flair, they're literally glorifying his behavior in this cartoon. And now that everyone called them out on their bullshit, that episode got taken down.
Oh, it got
So
taken
that
down.
yeah. That's besides the point, right?
Hmm.
So he's obviously he's drunk, hammered, drugged up, whatever, right? And he approaches this lady, and based on what the lady said. Now again, this is her account, but it's not something that I don't think she would lie about. She was cornered by him
Why am I not surprised that you said that?
because he's done it before. He's done it before. Now let me finish, and then
I
you
mean,
can you can.
yeah, right. He's a playboy. Well, go
Wait,
ahead, go
wait, wait,
ahead.
wait, 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 wait. What? What
He's
did wait, wait. So it gives him a right to sexually assault women. That's what you're saying.
no, I know that's not what I'm saying
No,
at
then why,
all.
then why bring it up?
No,
Then why bring it up? He's a
look,
play.
he's
What the fuck? Wait, okay. What does it matter if he's a playboy or not?
what I was trying to say did wasn't linked to the incident of the of what happened at the plane. Like I wasn't trying to link the two. I was just saying that just to say that this guy is a playboy. Like he gets girls whatever, and he probably felt that he could probably do the same thing on the plane, and it didn't work. But I'm not excusing him. I'm not excusing his
Eh,
behavior. That's just
Okay,
how he is. But
okay.
go ahead.
Anyways, so she said that he grabbed her hand and pretty much forced it down his dick, and then the only person who
Language,
came,
please. Language.
whatever, like and the person who pretty much stopped it was Dustin Rhodes, or
Yeah,
aka Gold
gold
Dust.
dust.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. For those of you who don't know, right? Who's still wrestling today, and it actually looks pretty good in the ring. But that's another story. Um,
yeah. Something that you
yeah,
complain about, by the way. You complain about old wrestlers fighting in the ring. But go
he's
ahead.
he's not a star, so it doesn't matter. But anyways, what's going on, Nintendo Gamer? How you doing? Um, so yeah, so that there's a bunch of other stuff that happened, but that was the main thing that
Oh,
happened when it
Nintendo
comes to Ric
gamers here.
Flair.
What's up,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nintendo? What's going on?
Yeah, so that was so Ric Flair, after the whole episode aired, he kind of had a feeling that this was coming, but he did release a statement. Let me see if I could read it here. Right? He did tweet it. Um,
Oh, that's right. He did tweet it. I remember.
Yeah, I'm going. I like I'm reading. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna try to read the tweet if it's there. Okay, I'm gonna read some of this.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for it to pop up. All right. Every person that I've worked with has said not to post a response, but I've never run from past behavior before, and I'm not going to start now. I want to clarify a few things. About four years ago, I gave ESPN full access to my life for 30 for 30. Have you seen that 30 for 30, by the way?
Not all of it. Like just like little tiny. Wait, I'm trying to remember. No, no, I actually didn't. No.
Okay, it's a great 30 for 30. You should watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay, yeah, I gave ESPN full access to my life for a 30 for 30 special. They covered taxes, financial issues, adultery, divorces, the passing of my child, and drinking partying at length. Ron Rory Camp, I don't know how to pronounce the name. Whatever. This desperate for to matter for another 15 minutes did an interview about it this morning. When Rory's lips are moving, he's typically lying. But one part of what he said was the God honest truth. And then let me move on to the second tweet. Oh, hold on. Move on to the tweet. Hold on. I never heard that he had forced someone to touch his genitals. Korf admitted.
Hmm.
Everything with Rick that was constructive as negative, I tried to address in the 30 for 30. His drinking, his philandering, his adultery, his money problems. There's quite a bit, but never, at least in the people that I spoke to, no one ever brought up that he would force himself on somebody. I allowed my personal life and the lives of my wife and children to be turned upside down for one reason. Whether it's good or bad, even the really bad, the truth has to matter, even in wrestling. Right. My issue have been well documented over my 40 plus year career. The impact of drinking too much, which nearly killed me 5 years ago, has been told time and time and time again. The reason Rory or anyone else for that matter never heard stories of me forcing myself on anyone is simple. It never happened. So that's his response. That was his response. Now, let me give you my opinion on this, right? Now, I these stories about Ric Flair as far as his partying and all that stuff is well documented. Very well documented. Now, when it comes to sexual assault and stuff like that, I I I I don't want to say that I want to believe that he would do it, but based on the reputation that he has, I just have a hard time believing that it's not something that he hasn't partaken in before. I just have a hard time believing it. And like you said, it was described by this lady Heidi that I mean the way that she recounted the story, and I think it does matter when you hear from the victim as opposed to reading it in an article. I think it does matter to see the victim and the look on her face retelling that story. And I don't think that anyone can be that good of an actress.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah,
I didn't see that much emotion when she was sharing that story.
me personally, I saw it. I saw it.
I didn't see
Like,
that. I didn't see that
yeah,
much emotion. But
that's fine.
but
But
okay. There's a couple of things that we need to address.
mhm.
Now,
Oh, wait. Before you do, let me just do this real quick. Like, as of right now, you know, he wasn't with WWE at the time, but they pretty much kind of edited him off the intro of their show. Um, he did have a deal with this car insurance company that has been frozen right now.
yeah.
So like I said, and like I said, he's 70 years old. Like he's old. So I don't know. We'll see what happens afterwards. But anyway, go ahead, go ahead with your opinion.
All right. Yeah. Like you said earlier, Ric Flair is, he's in the Mount Rushmore and wrestling as far as wrestling goes.
Hmm.
And I remember you also said that he was probably like one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Hmm.
Now, obviously, I feel the exact same way. There's still several guys I would still put above him. I don't want to go too much, but guys like Bret Hart. I love Shawn Michaels, but Kurt Angle and those other guys. But all that is besides the point. My issue with what happened at the flight is that she claimed that he took her hand and placed it on his genitals, whatever. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Goldust. Did Goldust vouch for her?
He wasn't interviewed.
He wasn't interviewed at all.
Mm-mm.
So he wasn't interviewed. He didn't put any tweets out there.
No.
You would assume
Why would he
that
want to talk about it?
he was part of the incident.
Yeah.
If he actually went over there and stopped Ric Flair from doing furthermore advances towards her, and you want to stay quiet about it, you're not defending her at all. Like
I mean,
I find
he's friends with Ric Flair.
I don't, dude. But you know what? If he had said that, at the very least that, she, was over, reacting or over exaggerated, then, you know what, maybe. But I find it, funny that nobody else except her, could nobody could vouch for her at all.
I
Like
think
how
I think RVD did.
he did?
Yeah, I think RVD did.
What did he say?
I don't remember. I don't remember what he said, but I know he talked about it. Like if there was anybody if there was anybody who came off the best, and it's not like it's not like he's a saint or anything like that. But if there was anybody who was there who represented himself the best, it was RVD because he was honest about everything that happened on the flight. Because I believe he was on that flight,
Yeah,
and
he
I
said
think
he was on
and
that
he
flight.
did. Yeah, and I think he did mention the incident with Heidi.
I'm gonna have to look back because when I watched the when I watched it, I don't recall him saying anything that that Ric Flair actually went over there and did his thing. I mean, I don't know. He seems to be the only one that wasn't influenced by
No,
by
I mean
that.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was. But the thing is that like he was honest about what was going on at the time. He was I would say he was the most honest.
But what weren't there other flight attendants that were there?
Yeah, two of them sued. Two of them sued, but the only one who was willing to go on camera was Heidi.
Again, why haven't they didn't see anything, like they didn't see what was going on, like this is the the problem that I have. All we really have is her, to her side of the story,
But
but we don't have we don't we
two
have
of the flight
all these
attendants sued. Two
we have
flight attendants sued. Two flight attendants sued.
who
Heidi and the other one.
who's the other okay
I don't know her name, but
yeah,
like
but she
both of
sued
them
who
sued.
who
She sued. I think she sued WWE.
oh okay
Even though her company told her not to, even after her husband told her not to, she still did. And against against her wishes, she was forced to take a settlement.
yeah, but
By
she didn't
her.
she didn't say anything. I'm not talking about Haiti. I'm talking about the other flight attendant.
She
Like,
sued them.
okay, but what
What
did
did she
she?
have to say? She sued them.
You're not listening. Can she vouch for Heidi at all?
Bro, they both sued the company. Why would they not why would they not sue?
I don't think
Like
you
you know,
understand.
like they
You're
don't
not
like
understanding the
no no no
question.
no 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 no
You're
no
not
no look
understanding the question.
we're not when it comes to when it comes to what happened with Rick and Heidi, like I don't know if she saw. I don't know. I don't know if she saw. But clearly there was some bullshit going on in that plane. Clearly there was something going on in that plane.
Okay, but
So
I'm talking about the specifics. I'm talking about I'm talking about the incident with Heidi and Ric Flair. Did the other flight attendant verify that that actually happened?
Steve, I don't know. I didn't read the suit. I
Okay,
didn't read the suit.
okay, so
I
that's what
didn't.
I'm talking about. You're talking about the whole overall of the whole lawsuit. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the exact specific
So,
event that had
all right,
happened.
then okay, then
Because
then what?
here's the thing that here's what you're not understanding. So many what there were so many people in that plane. You mean to tell me that not one person could go forward?
Didn't I tell you that RVD said that he saw what happened? You still there?
Yeah,
Didn't I tell you?
yeah.
Yeah, RVD said that he saw what happened.
He said he saw what happened,
Yeah,
and he said that Ric Flair took her hand and put it on his crotch,
I don't know if he said those exact words, but he saw her there. He saw him and her there.
and that's all he could say. That's all he said.
That's all he said.
Okay.
I mean, I have to rewatch that part, but that's what he said.
Yeah. Okay. Look. I'm not gonna go and say that she is lying. I'm not gonna say that she's lying. I just find it funny. I just find
That's
it.
what it sounded like to me. But go
Well,
ahead.
I'm all I'm saying is I just find it funny that no nobody wants to vouch for her. Like, that's all I'm really that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
I
saying.
just
Yeah.
told you. I just told you that RVD said it.
You just said that he didn't use those exact words. All you said was that he saw Ric Flair go to that direction. That's it.
You do realize that the area that they were in was very is like a narrow. I forgot what it's called, but it's a very narrow area, right? So they're very close to each other. So they're very close to each other.
You're talking about I forgot what's it called. It's where they get the food or whatever it is. But
Mhm.
yeah, I forgot what's it called. Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. So all right. So what is your overall opinion on this?
Well, here well, my overall opinion is, hang on. All right, I wanted to read this article, but I think you had already, basically read it on your side, so I don't think I need to um go. But it basically said that, you know, it says that Ric Flair was naked and a cape only, and then he decided to come back to the galley to get a coke, and then
And
he
and that's
wouldn't.
where and that's where she was at.
Yeah, well, and she said to leave the galley. She claimed he had me against the back door and wouldn't move. I couldn't get away from him. I couldn't move. You know what? Let me share this because
And let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Right?
yeah.
And try do your best to visualize this situation. Okay? Now, if let's say your mom was on that flight and the only details you have is Ric Flair in nothing but a robe cornering your mother. You don't know any other detail. You don't know if he forced her to do this, forced her to do that. Would you be upset about that? Yes or no?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, why would you be upset?
Well, I would be upset because I would want to know why in the world are you naked in the first place.
Exactly.
And naked naked in the first place, and you're naked, and then you're approaching, whether it's my mom or one of my sisters or cousins, or whatever.
Anybody.
Yeah, yeah, anybody. I'm gonna ask you, yo, what's up with that? Now, I'm not
Yeah,
a yeah, yeah. I would say,
I wouldn't be so diplomatic. Definitely wouldn't be so diplomatic. And I think that's the biggest issue in all of this, right? Because you see a lot of people defending Ric Flair. They got people trying to dig her past up and all the other shit. But here's my overall point, right? If you're going to behave badly, then like there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. Like whether she touched his penis or not, at the end of the day, homie should not be naked in a robe approaching anybody. Yes or no?
Agreed.
So again, like and I know the popular thing is to go at people for cancel culture and all the other stuff. And I think in certain situations it goes overboard, and in other situations it doesn't go overboard enough. Right? I've always thought that it's something that is a case by case basis, right? But I'm sorry, when you are if you are walking around naked in nothing but a robe, you're asking for trouble. And around that time, someone like Ric Flair, he can do the stuff that he does and not get in trouble for it. Because mind you, he never got punished for what he did. Never got punished for what he did. And there was so many, and there were other people on that flight, like Dustin Rhodes, who got. I think he got fined. I don't know if he got suspended, but he got fined for the stuff that he did. Scott Hall got fired for the thing that he did, and he's also someone who grabbed the same flight attendant, said that he was gonna lick her, and then he passed out.
Yeah,
And
but let's be frank. I don't think he got fired, for that. I think it was, the constant, drug abuse and him being
I mean
basically knocked out.
I don't think he did another show after that.
Yeah, yeah,
He didn't do, no he his issues were got him in trouble before, but like he got fired after that.
he got fired, but I don't believe he did. I honestly don't believe that he did anything. Towards Heidi, whatever her name is.
I mean
I
that's
don't.
what she said.
I don't think.
That's what she
I don't
said.
think he. I don't think he did anything.
So she's lying.
At that part, I think she's lying.
Why would she lie?
I don't think that happened
Why
because
would she
look,
lie?
because a guy who was basically knocked out, throughout the whole entire, thing of the whole entire, fiasco, and that plane, and to say,
You don't know that. You don't know that.
well, he pretty much, for somebody to be knocked out like that, all I could say is, from now, this is anecdotal, but me witnessing, people drinking, and I'm pretty sure you've seen it before. I mean, we have friends who we know personally that's gotten into trouble drinking and then, knocking themselves out. Like we've seen it happen. I don't believe that he actually said that, he was going to liquor, and I don't think she ever accused of him actually doing it.
She said it she said it.
That he licked her, that he actually licked her.
No, not that he actually that he
That's what I'm
said that he
talking
was
about.
going to.
Okay, but that's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
So,
that's not. But she didn't accuse him of licking her. She accused him of saying it.
mm, I don't know, man. Like that. I don't believe it. I don't.
Okay, then why do you believe? What
Why?
then?
Why
Do
do why do
do
you
you believe
believe
her
it?
on?
Why do you believe it?
Why would she lie about it?
What do you mean? Why would she lie about it?
Why would she?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, to me, she don't come off as someone who would lie about something like this.
You don't even know her.
Look, I don't need to know her, but the problem is the industry is what it is. It is what it is. Drugs, sex, and all the other shit that wrestlers got away with back in the day.
I mean,
That is well documented. That's
people
not
are
fake.
people are still getting away.
That is well documented.
Yeah, people are still getting away with that stuff now. We already had this
But not in
discussion.
not in the wrestling business.
No, I'm,
Not in
I'm
the
just
wrestling
I'm
business.
just talking about in the whole entertainment business
But
as a whole.
that's fine. But it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to do it now than it was back then.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I don't know
because
about that.
people are more comfortable, speaking out on these type of things.
Yeah, they're more comfortable taking settlements. getting money and not pursue anything else further. Yeah, they're more comfortable doing that.
Okay. Okay. That's supposed to be like, that's supposed to be an admission of guilt?
All I'm saying is
So
if
okay, so let me
clearly
so if you decide so if you decide if you
clearly the money
decide
was more important than
so
actually
so
pursuing
so
justice.
so okay, okay, let's go to the Heidi thing, right? When you have your employer telling you not to do it, not to pursue anything, when your husband decide not to do it, what other option do she have? What support system does she have?
So she
You
can't
didn't answer
control
the
her
question.
own. She can't
You
control
didn't
her.
answer the question. You
I'm
didn't answer the
answering the
question.
question with a question. So she
No, no, no,
cannot
no, no.
control
That's not how it works.
her
That's not how it
decisions.
works, Steve.
She can't control her
Answer the
own
question.
decisions.
Can't, what decision does she have? What decision does she have? When her employer tells her not to do it, when her husband tells her not to do it, what option does she have?
Oh my goodness, she's still her own person.
Who? Okay, you see, this is the type of victim blaming that goes on that you like to participate in. Where
Listen,
she needs to do this, she needs to do that, she needs to do this, she needs to do that, and then maybe I'll believe her. How the hell did that make any sense? That
again,
makes no sense whatsoever.
why doesn't it make sense?
Why does it make sense? Like, okay, you do realize that it's more than just physical. There's a emotional devastation that goes on with this type of stuff. It just does. It's not so. I know that's something that you don't believe in.
No, no,
Because you
no.
believe, you know, you,
Verbal abuse is can be damaging. I believe that.
but what about emotional abuse? Like think about this. Think about this, right? After the flight was over, the flight attendants were told, "Hey, we have to clean the plane." A plane that included blood, broken furniture, needles, vomit, and any other disgusting bullshit that they had to deal with throughout the entire flight. You don't think that type of bullshit would scar somebody? And not in we don't not even including the stuff that we know about when it comes to Ric Flair, the stuff that went on with Dustin Rhodes, the stuff that went on with the fight, and I guarantee you they didn't cover they didn't cover everything. They definitely didn't cover everything that happened on that plane.
Well, we can't prove that, but here's my thing that that I wanted to finish addressing. Um, Scott Hall was out cold.
Okay, okay.
Let me finish.
Look,
Let me finish. That dude was out cold,
you were
and
there.
no, but neither were you. So like, but anyway, he was out cold, and for you mean to tell me, because I don't know if she went into like complete detail, because all she said was that I think she said that he grabbed her and said that he wants to lick her or whatever.
Yeah.
And then and suddenly he as soon as he said that, he gets knocked out, and he just laid there on his seat, not saying a word anymore. I'm not that's just no, I don't believe it. I just don't.
Based on
I
what?
really don't. I don't believe
Based on
it.
what?
I don't believe it.
Based on what?
I just don't. I don't believe it.
Then
You,
what?
you, you,
Do you
the
believe?
same the same the same the
Do
same
you believe the
guy
Ric Flair thing? Do
the
you
same
believe the Ric Flair
hang,
thing?
hang on, the same guy who you are accusing that said that I am going to do such and such to you, and then bam, he gets knocked out. That doesn't add up.
He doesn't even remember what happened on the flight. All he remembered was that that he said that he got drugged, that he got H bombed. He doesn't remember what he did. He doesn't remember. He doesn't remember anything.
Let me ask you one quick question. Right now, do you remember how they were saying, uh, make sure you don't leave your drink uncovered?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if somebody is constantly, spiking your drink, and somebody is constantly, messing up your drink, or whatever it is, putting drugs in your drink, whatever it is that they're doing, right? You drink it, you're constantly drinking, you're constantly getting spiked. People are basically, it's like a setup. And let's just say that it was basically out of his control, are you still going to blame him for it? Because he didn't spike his own drink.
It don't Steve. It don't fucking matter. At the end of the day, who's gonna get in trouble? If I can't, the defense is, oh, I got drugged. That's not a defense. Not a defense.
Somebody else drugging you, that's not a
Yeah,
defense.
but if it was just that, then yeah, fine. Then yeah, then you can accuse him whatever. But if you get drugged and you commit crimes, then like that's on you. Unless he comes out and said that who drugged him, but that doesn't
But
excuse it. So,
there was
let me say this.
there was no way a lot of those guys were able to identify who spiked whose drink though. I don't think
Okay,
people.
yeah, yeah, because they were all doing it. They were all drunk. They were all acting like idiots. That is not acceptable. That type of behavior, no matter what, in the beginning, is not acceptable.
I agree.
It's not. So why are we making excuses for the behavior? Like, why are we making excuses for the behavior?
Well,
Because
I, I'm
none of it is right. None of it's right. So why are we making excuses for it?
he, to me what happened, with Scott Hall. I do put some blame on him because obviously he was drinking a lot. I'm not going to excuse. Obviously he was drinking a lot, but spiking his drink does not help. You know what I'm
No
saying?
shit,
Like,
it don't help.
yeah, spiking his drink, is not going to, help the situation. All it does is just
Okay,
going to escalate
but
the
guess what,
situation
Steve? That was
and
the
make it worse.
culture. That was the culture of the wrestling business back in the day. That was
This
the culture of the wrestling business back in the day, and
this this this,
that's unacceptable.
this stuff still happens now.
No,
You have
I am telling
look,
you right now that don't happen.
listen. You have you have you have wrestlers, you have football players, basketball players that go to these, crazy parties, bringing in hookers, bringing in, strippers into their stuff. People are drinking, people are taking drugs. A lot of people are doing this. You just talked about Jon Jones in your first topic. You just talked about Jon Jones and how he had problems, with drugs. This happens to a lot of athletes. This
Listen,
happens.
listen.
This
It's
happens to
not.
especially
Yeah.
especially people who have money, who has a lot of money. It happens to so many of them. It happens
Listen,
everywhere.
listen, listen. I'm not going to deny that happened. That could still happen. Obviously, we know about Jon Jones and his problems, right? But what I'm saying is a lot less likely to happen now than it's been before. A lot less likely because you have cameras everywhere, right? You have cameras everywhere. You have this whole the wrestling business was rocked by the Me Too movement as well.
Say it again.
Where you had the wrestling business was rocked by the whole Me Too movement.
No.
You know what I mean? Like you had a bunch of people who were accused of poor behavior. Not, I mean, I don't think there was anything that quite like what happened on the plane. You know what I mean? But you had a lot of people who were accused of poor behavior, and a lot of them got canceled. A lot of them got canceled. There's some of these wrestlers you don't know nothing about, but there's definitely some wrestlers who are out there today who would be in major promotions if it wasn't for the whole thing that happened last year with Me Too, especially in the wrestling business. So when I tell you that it's a lot less frequent now than it did before, you have to believe, at least in the wrestling business, is the truth. It's the truth because nowadays, if you give WWE like a bad stain, you're not gonna get hired. You're
Yeah.
probably gonna get fired, or except for Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar, he was accused of getting naked in front of Terry Runnels.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, and he nothing happened to him.
Yeah, nothing happened.
And Terry Runnels has said that if she had money, I forgot the quote, but if she had a nickel for every time she had to ignore sexual advances and all the stuff that she had to deal with, she would have a lot of money, and she would
Terry
be in
said that.
court for yeah, and she would be in court forever. So yeah, this type of stuff, happened back then, and it's not okay. It's not okay. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, but when your industry is filled with drugs and alcohol and sexual assault and shit like that, like, I'm sorry, I can't give these guys the benefit of the doubt. I can't. I really can't. Like, you know, just it's just how the business was. It's just how
I,
it just Go ahead.
yeah, but I still think a lot of this stuff still happens. Um, but again, I'm not talking about the wrestling business exclusively. I'm talking about just the entertainment industry as a whole. It happens to like I said, it happens to athletes. It happens to rappers, politicians. Anybody that have money, they have control, and
Empower.
yeah,
Empower.
they basically do what they want. I mean, we talked about the whole thing with Cardi B, how she admitted drugging dudes and robbing them, and like it
Yeah,
happens
but
everywhere.
she did that before she was famous. She
Go
did that
ahead.
before she was famous. I think she did that before she was famous.
But it's proof that it still happens to this day.
No, I'm not saying it don't happen. I'm just saying that like, if you do that today, then you're an idiot. Awful human being, and you're an idiot. You know
I
what I
agree
mean?
with
Like,
that. Yeah,
anyway,
I agree with that. But okay, so here's my full stance on this, right?
mhm.
Um, the whole thing with Ric Flair, I still find it odd that nobody. Well, you said RVD did. So I'll it's not that far fetched. I think what she's saying is actually accurate, because if you are going to go naked, show your stuff in front of a whole bunch of dudes, and all the dudes said that you did that, and all you had was a robe on,
And
then
what and let me ask
and
you a question. Let me ask you a quick question before you finish.
mhm.
Should any employee who worked at the airline should be subjected to that? To just that?
No, absolutely not.
Exactly. Like, that's why the people who are defending Ric Flair, and listen, I love Ric Flair. Like, like, Ric Flair is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Like, I love watching his promos. I love watching his old matches, but like, that's just not okay. It's not okay. Whether or not he forced her hand on him or not is irrelevant. There is no
Wait, no,
reason.
that's very relevant. No, that's very relevant.
No. I'm talking. Like, I don't know if it's true or not. Let me just, like, I don't know if it's true or not.
Wait,
Like,
you was
but
attacking me this whole entire
let me
time.
finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Finish.
The thing is that if you're willing to do that in front of people who are not subject to it, who are not used to it, who have no part in not wanting to see that, then how can I believe you when you say that you don't force yourself onto somebody, when you're willing to willingly go naked in front of complete strangers, doing that, being disrespectful? Why would I believe you? Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
can't believe you if you're willing to go to be that dumb, that disrespectful, that disgusting to pull off something like that. Yeah, but that's my opinion. Continue.
um yeah, like I 100% agree with that, because if you're going to expose yourself to all those people, all of your employees, well, it doesn't it doesn't matter. And dude, I guarantee there's going to be people that that'll say, oh, but he was doing that to everybody. Oh, he was doing that to everybody. Or we have to be consistent with, if when it comes to strippers or whoever comes in. Like, no, all that is a bunch of crap. What he did was unacceptable. Showing his crotch to even if it was as a joke, and they're all best friends and all the other stuff. No, that is something that you don't do. It's about respect, like you said, it's about respect. So, do I believe that he actually took her hand, put it in his genitals? You know what? That's very very possible, very 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 possible. Actually, more likely that it actually happened because everybody already said that he was naked in the plane anyway. So obviously, it's a lot easier for you to approach any flight attendant for that matter. And say, hey, go ahead and touch my stuff. But I don't believe so. I'll believe that, but I don't believe in the whole Scott Hall thing. That's my position. But you
Okay.
believe you believe in the whole Scott Hall thing.
I just like based on his past behavior, like it's hard to not believe it. And I do believe that he don't remember anything of what happened because remember I don't think he ever said that it didn't happen. He said he don't remember.
He said he doesn't remember anything.
Yeah, so he doesn't remember
If
if
he
he
said
said
that,
that to her or not.
yeah.
He don't remember because, like you said, he was all effed up in the first place.
Oh crap!
And
Hang on. Nintendo Gamer said yes, it's a psychological thing.
yeah,
Uh,
psychological. Yeah.
yeah.
And it
I'm
was
not.
not, and he also said it was non-consensual. Well, obviously it
Oh
was not consensual. It was on a plane. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
but like, yeah, if let's say if she had invited the advancement, she would have gotten fired.
Oh, she would have gotten fired. Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, you can't just go around, humping dudes on the job. You can't be doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
You
I mean?
can't. Yeah,
So
you obviously can't do that. And also the pilots has no saying in either, right?
as far as what?
Like because I haven't heard any statements from them at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that like I said, you listen to her, and I know you probably not. When it comes to certain situations, you're more sympathetic to situations than I am, and in other situations, you're more that I'm more sympathetic than you are in certain situations. Like you can just tell by the look on her face that she's still haunted by that. Even with the money don't stop. The money don't change nothing. Like you may be able to buy a couple nice things, but those memories stick with you forever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that. And like how you said before, previously when she said that she had to clean up all that crap, and I'm pretty sure all the other flight attendants unfortunately had to clean it up too.
I she
And
I think she said that she refused. I don't know if she actually. I don't know. I don't think she ever mentioned if she actually went back to do it. But if you're her, like I can understand. Like you went through all the BS that you had to deal with the wrestlers, and then you had to clean up after them, and then you look at some of the stuff that they had to clean up. Like, bro, they would have. I would have quit.
no, dude, I get it because there was like only what like three four females in the whole entire plane, and one of them you feel like you're surrounded by a bunch of Incredible Hulks and Captain Americas in the plane. So
Exactly.
yeah, you felt powerless and you felt like you was in danger. Especially the fact when you see you are witnessing guys are spiking each other's drinks. Um, the guy, what was the guy's name that got his hair cut? Oh crap, what was his name?
Michael Hayes,
Yeah, Michael
who's
Hayes.
no saint either. That dude can go fuck himself. Anyway, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't want to go too. I don't want to go too. But I'm only mentioning that just to elaborate the fact that she and I'm pretty sure all the other flight attendants, were basically freaking out the whole entire ride. Because again, you have a bunch of guys who are big guys. These are not small. These are not average Joes. You know what I'm saying? These are athletic, men who wrestles, for a living, and they're huge. Talking about like
Yeah,
6'5", 6'4", like basketball, type, heights, and you can find in a plane where nowhere to go,
hmm
you can't call the police. I mean, I mean. So look, I'm not. My bad for laughing, but
No, no, no. I got you.
yeah. So I completely understand that she was freaked out about it. Everything in there that we saw was legit. I
Yeah.
just think the whole thing with Scott Hall probably wasn't really you know. But do I think he deserved to get fired? Yeah, because he had like we said in the chat, he had problems throughout his whole entire career when it comes to alcohol and and drug, and that's why he didn't age well. So
Yeah, and he was reprimanded for it at first, but then they brought him back on the road, and he did the whole insurrection pay per view and all the other stuff. He did the tour, and and the one thing that was said, and Justin Credible said this. He's a fellow wrestler. He had to wheel Scott Hall through the airport, not knowing if he was dead or not. Because when they landed, like Hall he was still asleep. He was dead or something. Like he wasn't moving. So like according to what Justin Credible said, he put the shades on him, got him on the wheelchair and wheeled him throughout the airport. And according to what Jim Ross said, he had to fire him after that. And they wanted to get him help, but when someone don't want to get help, it's very hard to get someone to help when they're not receptive to that help. So
yeah, and that was, I think that's actually one of the the scariest parts. Like, not even to be able to identify if the person is actually dead or not. Like that, like dude, if I'm pushing someone on the wheelchair and I don't know if you're dead or alive, dude, that would freak me out. I'm not gonna lie to you. That would absolutely freak me out if that were me. I don't know how you would be able to handle something like that, but if that were me
mhm.
and I had to put on shades and I had to look at JR in the eye and say, hey, I'm fine, like I'm, but hey, he did deserve, to get fired. But like I said, he didn't age well. Like, I don't know how he's handling his stuff right now, if there's any
um
improvements,
I
but
I think the last time I heard, like, I know he's dealing with some health issues, but I think that he like DDP has helped him a lot. So shout out to DDP. Um, I think he has his good days and bad days, but from what I heard, he was clean for a good part of it. Like you said, he has good days or bad days, but like I think he was. I think for the most part, I think he's fine. Like I just hope that like I hope that he finds peace. I mean, I just and a lot of these wrestlers, I hope a lot of these wrestlers find peace because, like I said, their lifestyle is not easy. Like no one, like like even though I may sound like I'm passing judgment on them, I know their life's not hard. It's not easy. Like I know, like
yeah.
when you're, especially back in the day when you're traveling, 300 days a year and all this other stuff. Like I know it's not easy. You're away from your family. You're away from your newborn. I get, and you really, the only thing you really have to cope is with the rest of the boys, and sometimes you have to let loose and stuff like that. Like I get it, but it doesn't excuse the poor behavior because you have to remember everyone else there's still everyone else out there, and if they're not, they shouldn't be subject to your bad behavior.
No, no,
you
no.
know
Everything you said is spot on because I know. I don't know if you ever been guilty of this, but obviously when I'm watching wrestling, or if I'm watching athletes, or rappers, or anybody that's famous, right? Or let's say someone who's good at at stand ups, or movie actors. We all always assume that they're living in some type of utopian lifestyle
Mhm.
because they have all the money, they have all the fame. But when you actually look at documentaries and when you read their books, like, you see that, wow, like they go through a lot of crazy stuff. People killing themselves, people are, like I would never forget the time. I'm not gonna go off topic too much, but I'll never forget the time when the incident that happened with with Britney Spears, how she shaved her head and all the other stuff.
Mhm.
Like the only reason why I'm bringing her up is because I remember I used to have like this big crush on her when I was a kid. Back in I think back in like in middle school and high
Mhm.
school, and so you see this stuff happening to a lot of famous people, and
Yeah.
it's not some type of they're living in this luxury life and everything is all perfect and lollipops and gun drops, cotton candy and ice cream. Like they are actually going through a lot of rough times, and
They're human beings.
yeah,
At the end of the day, they're human
yeah,
beings,
absolutely.
and a lot of times we forget that because we figure that they lived a glorious life, but they're human beings at
Yeah.
the end of the day. So all right, so let's all right, so we're done with that topic.
All
And
right,
and
awesome.
shout out to Kidvid in the chat. Yeah. I hope R. Kelly's done, but you never know. He that dude had 9 lives, so the
No,
same age. It's at the same age that the women he messed with. So
let me see. R. Kelly is done. Oh, that's Ric Flair topic. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think R. Kelly, is pretty much done. I mean, I don't think people are going to, view him the same way, like we did in the past. And
no,
for all the
I've always thought the dude was a rapist, but
oh, you did?
but when that album comes out, we love R. Kelly. Like every time we got new music coming out, oh, we love R. Kelly. Let's ignore the fact that he married one of his top singers at the age of what 15. So
I thought she was
whatever.
60.
Whatever, it don't matter. Like we can move on. All right.
Yeah, we can move on from that.
All right.
Because
Last topic.
I guarantee we're gonna, talk for another hour if we stick to that. So let's move on quick with this whole R. Kelly stuff because I have a lot of stuff to say about him, but not right now.
Mhm. All right. Go on. Talk about the NBA top 10.
All right, yeah. So last and final topic is the rankings of the NBA top 10, and let me unfortunately what that's fine. Let me share this real quick. And look, I think it's probably a little too early to determine who is top 10 because not everybody is healthy yet. And
Mhm.
can you see it?
Oh, let me bring it up. Okay.
Well, this one is top 5. Um oh yeah, this is top 5. But you know what? Yeah, that's fine. Now, as you can see, it says NBA ranking 2021, ranking the best players for 2021, 2022, and basically what they have. Let's just do this real quick. They have Steph Curry as number 5. They have Luca as number 4, which I find that to be a problem. But let's continue. I'll address my opinions after. Number 3 is LeBron James and
Wait. Who's number 4?
Luca.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, Luca's number 4. You can see this, right?
Yeah, yeah, I can see. I can see it.
Okay. And number 3 is LeBron James. Number 2 is Giannis. I have a big issue with that. I have a really
Mhm.
big issue with that. Number 2 is Giannis, and number 1 is Kevin Durant. Now, I'll address the rest of the 5, but I really have to say this right now. I really have to.
Mhm.
This whole thing with Kevin Durant and Giannis. Look, I said this to you before, and I think you actually said this to me also. I
Mhm.
get it that Kevin Durant is a great shooter. I get it. I understand that he could shoot from inside and he could shoot, from outside. But to me, the matchup that Giannis and KD had, I think it once Kyrie got hurt, I think it was a much you could I know you're gonna disagree with this, but I think it was a much evenly matchup between the two teams
Okay.
in my opinion.
Okay.
Now, so because that I feel that way, I honestly believe that Giannis winning, that series should have elevate him to number one by default because you beat the guy who you're claiming who's the best player in the league. So, so by that reason, and the fact that he could still dominate without, being, just as good of a shooter, because here's the reason why I hate this whole, oh, this guy is, a better shooter, or this guy is a much more, skilled player. When you look at a guy like, Kyrie Irving, he could shoot the ball better than, Giannis. He's a much, ball handler, than Giannis, when it comes to talent. But does that mean he's the better player? No. Because again, if you could dominate the league and nobody could stop you, it doesn't matter what the other skill that the other players can possess or that could do better than you. It doesn't matter. Because if a guy who's a better shooter than you, but yet you could still win championships and the other guy cannot, that guy's not better than you. Now you could take a little, small details of what skill set that the individual may have. But at the end of the day, if you could dominate the league with the skills that you currently have, then that's what we have to go by. Who could dominate the league? Who could dominate the NBA with the skill set that they already possess? You know what I'm saying? But let me hear your thoughts on the top five on here.
Okay. Um, you the thing that you always fall for when it comes to this type of top 10, you always put the best player on the team that won the championship as number one. You always do that,
Yes. Yeah.
and I'm telling you that that's not always the case. Not always the case. Give you an example. 2011. If the entire NBA had to choose had their choice of what player to start their franchise with, everybody is going to pick LeBron James, including Mark Cuban. I don't give a damn what he says. They're going to pick Mark Cuban. I mean, they're going to pick LeBron James, right? Even though he had a bad NBA Finals, especially for his standard, right? They're going to pick him, right?
Okay.
But the person who won who the best player on that team was Dirk Nowitzki, and I remember you saying that Dirk Nowitzki was the best player in the NBA
For
when
that
that's
year.
not true.
For that year,
No,
yes.
which is not true.
That year,
Which
yes.
was never true. Which was never true.
For that
Because
year. At
if
the
I had
at the very
because
least on that series.
because no, he wasn't even the best player in the series. It was
What?
Dwayne Wade.
No,
It
no,
was
no, 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 no,
Dwayne
no,
Wade was
no,
the best
no.
player in that series.
No, it was Dirk Nowitzki, dude.
No, it was
Come
Dwayne Wade
on, come on. Like you're being biased. You're being biased. Like
a little bit, but
if
like
it now
Dwayne Wade
the,
was the
cha-
best
the
player in that series.
the championship that Dwayne Wade had won. I could accept that people said he was the best player on the league for that year. I could accept that. I'll be okay with that because at the very least, during that time, you could easily say that the matchup with him and LeBron James was almost basically even. They basically
What, what,
they both basically did the same thing.
what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the time the year Dwayne Wade won the championship with
But
Shaq.
Dwayne Wade was on a much better team.
I'm talking about when he won with Shaq.
Yeah, but he was on a much better team
Yeah,
than
but
LeBron.
if you said that
He had
if
Shaq.
if you said that Dwayne Wade was the best player for that one year, I'm okay with that.
But yeah, but that's
Well,
only when he won a championship.
here's the problem that you have. I feel like you would look at a guy like, for example, like a LeBron James, and that no matter what the other players do, you would never have them, eclipse, LeBron James or Kevin Durant or whoever. That's your issue. You always put that guy as the top guy by default. You have to remember at the end of the day though, if the person had the better year, at least for that one year, you have to say that he's the best player for the year.
To me, the way I look at it is that you have to have a year where you are like dominant. in your skill, that you are dominant. And when I look at someone like LeBron James, right? The reason why I always say that I would pick him, like I think for a long while I said it was LeBron, and then I switched to Giannis a couple years ago because of potential. Because with Giannis, like he's dominant now without a shot, without a dependable outside shot, and with suspect free throw shooting. Because I always assumed that he would get better at those things, and I still think he could get better at those things. But to me, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, well, this guy's the best player in the league because he plays on the best team or the team that survived that year. Like, there's no way I would pick Dirk Nowitzki. And Dirk Nowitzki is a great player, like all-time great. Like, I'm not trying to discredit him.
Mm-hmm.
But there ain't no way in hell I'm picking him over over LeBron, and I ain't picking him over Dwayne Wade. You know what I mean? Like I no. And I don't care if his team won the championship. Like, props to his team for winning the championship. Props to him for being the Finals MVP. But he ain't better than LeBron. And he ain't better than Dwayne Wade.
Oh,
So
he's
why
not
would
better.
so why would I pick him? Why would I think that he's the best player when I don't think that?
Well, if you don't think, obviously overall, if you consider him, as the best player, that's fine. But for that year, or for that, like I said, to be at least for that series, he was the best player in that series. I
Because
know
his
you
team
would.
won.
He was the best player in that
Because
series.
his team won.
Okay, that's fine. But he,
Okay,
but
okay,
he
all right.
was the one. He was dominant. He was
Okay,
consistent.
let me ask you a question. The 2016, I think it was 15. Was it 15 or 16? Fine, it was 15 finals, right? Golden State versus Cleveland for their first matchup. Who was the best player in that series?
Uh, Wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember. Was that the year Iguodala won MVP? I'm
I'm not
trying to
telling you.
remember.
I'm not telling you. Who was the best player in that series?
Who are you not telling me?
I'm not telling you. Who was the
Uh,
best player in that series?
yeah, I think Iguodala won MVP. The best player in that series was
Wait,
Steph
wait,
Curry.
wait,
Steph
wait,
Curry.
wait,
Steph
wait.
Curry.
I caught you. Like, why is it not Andre Iguodala?
No, it's not like based on the numbers. Uh, you know, based on the numbers, Steph Curry, was the best player. And secondly, that was pure robbery. Pure robbery.
How is it
Iguodala should have not.
robbery?
Iguodala shouldn't have won MVP. It should have been Steph Curry.
But I mean, again, I don't get caught up in that type of stuff. But but the thing is that it was proven that when they moved Iguodala to the when they moved him to the starting lineup, they were able to they pretty much dominated from there on. They dominated from there on. So
Mm,
and like I mean, and I think Curry had a good series, but he wasn't as dynamic in that series that he was during the entire season. Remember, he was torching the league that year.
yeah, and for that year, I would say he was the best player in the league, not LeBron James.
I mean, to me, like the best player in that series was LeBron, in my opinion. The problem is that he had no help because
Okay,
Kyrie and Kevin were hurt.
okay. When the Golden State Warriors won the finals,
Hmm.
and then when they only lost 9 games,
Hmm.
and when they were entering the playoffs, who was the best player in that league?
I would have given it to the Steph.
Okay, so did he no longer became the best player once he lost the NBA Finals, or was he still the best player in the league?
I mean, I think what happened with LeBron James. Well,
No,
LeBron
go ahead,
James
go ahead, go
and
ahead, go
wait,
ahead.
wait, wait, wait. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think LeBron
you know,
James, Kyrie, and Kevin. Well, mainly LeBron James. Proved pretty much took his crown back. Pretty much
okay,
took his crown.
by winning the finals, by winning
Yeah,
the finals, yes,
but
yes,
like
okay, that's my
yeah,
point. He he
but
he
he
won-
but
he won. He
but the thing is that his team like you can't ignore what Steph Curry did during the regular season. He had an all-time great season when his team had an all time great season, right? His team had an all time great season, and he had an all time great season himself. Like it would be like when Jordan and them won 70 games, right? When they won 70 games and giving the MVP award to Karl Malone. Like it didn't make any sense. The guy who should have won the MVP that year was Jordan, and I think he did, and rightfully so, because he was on an all time great team in during the all time great finals. Now let's say I think the team they faced that year was the Sonics. The year that they won 70 games.
Yeah, yeah.
It was I think they played the Sonics. Now
Mhm.
if the Sonics somehow beat them, I'm not gonna say that Sean Kemp or Gary Payton um was the best player in the league. It was Michael Jordan.
Yeah, but
He
he's the best player by far. Like it wasn't even close.
Okay, that's fine, but like based on what if the Seattle Supersonics for however reason they would have been able to do it. If they had beaten the Bulls, based on your logic, you would have picked someone who on the Sonics to be MVP and quote the best player. Yes or no?
If the players are close, to me, winning that trophy is the tiebreaker for me, because I'm not gonna say that Paul Pierce was the best player in the league when Boston won the championship. I'm not
No,
saying that.
the best player on that team was Kevin Garnett. The best player on that team was Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, but they gave the final MVP to Paul Pierce though.
He was Finals MVP.
Yeah.
I thought it was Garnett.
No,
No.
no, before you continue,
Mhm.
oh crap, you can't see it. Let me share the stuff first.
Okay, so let's get back to the actual topic because I think we kind of
Yeah, that's what I was doing. Now
okay. So
here's the rest. So James Harden was at number 10. I have a problem with that.
mhm.
And Anthony Davis is in number 9. I don't even think he's top 10 in my opinion.
Okay.
Um, Damian Lillard is number 8. I'm fine with that. Joel Embiid is number 7,
Mhm.
and can't pronounce
Nikola
it. Taking it.
Jokic.
Nicole
Jokic.
Joker, whatever his name is. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's number 6.
Okay.
So okay, so yeah, he's number 6, and we already went through number 5, which is Steph Curry, and the rest. Do you have a problem, with this list?
No, 'cause I don't care. I don't really care about lists like that. But and honestly, like I don't see how who would you replace?
For Anthony Davis?
No,
Or who?
yeah, who would you replace?
All right. Um.
And who would you put in?
Okay. And Anthony. Okay. Remember, Anthony Davis. They put him at the number 9 spot. He's
Mhm.
not. He's not. He's not. He's to me. He's not better than James Harden.
Okay.
And not even close. And because of him, constantly being inconsistent, and he's always injury prone. I can't put him in the top 10 right now. So
Who would
for
you take?
me,
Who would you put in?
I would take him out, and I would actually put in Kawhi Leonard.
He's not. Well, okay. I mean, I look. Kawhi Leonard would be in my top 10, but he's hurt. Like he's not going to be playing this year.
Yeah, but based on that logic,
Well, Anthony Davis is not
Anthony
hurt right
Davis
now.
he was hurt last year.
Okay, he was hurt last year, but he's not hurt now.
Mm,
Like Kawhi Leonard is going to be starting on the bench. Like I can't put him on. Like, I mean, it's kind of arbitrary, but like to me, I think this list is more like a preview more than anything else. Like, and I can't put a guy who's not going to be there for a good portion of the season. We have no clue when he's going to be back.
yeah, but you're not being consistent having now, because you didn't do that when Kevin Durant was hurt. When he had his Achilles, you still said he was a top 5, top 10 guy.
Okay.
Okay, So why can't the same apply to Kawhi Leonard?
I just think that like I don't know. Like I don't.
I caught
For
you.
me, no. Like I'm not trying. Like to me, arguing over. I think that Kevin Durant is a special player. I think he's gonna be an all time great. And I don't know if I feel that way about Kawhi Leonard right now. You know what I mean? Like I think he is to an extent, but his his claim to fame is the finals, is the NBA finals. Being the best player in 2014 and being the best player for Toronto in 2019.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like do you remember any regular seasons where you're like, man, this guy is ahead of the class? Like I know he's had very good regular seasons, but I don't look at him. I don't think he ever had the type of regular season where you can say, oh, he's the best player. Period. You know what I mean?
Well, he was mainly doing that in the playoffs.
And also, I also think that his whatever injury management thing that he's doing, I think hurts in that regard. And I don't think, and the thing with Anthony Davis is, I just think that he's hurt. You know what I mean? I just think that he gets hurt too often. But there'll be times where Kawhi Leonard doesn't play basketball because he's resting or whatever.
So overall, you are completely fine with this list.
I mean, I don't see who I would put in the top 10 over any of those other players. You know what I mean? Like me personally, like if I had to pick best play, if I had to pick between Durant and Giannis as number one, I actually would agree. I actually do agree that Kevin Durant should be number one.
What you just said? Oh my goodness! You said Giannis was the best player.
I would pick him to start my franchise, but when it came when it comes to like best player, like I don't know, man. Like I thought what Kevin Durant did last year just impressed the hell out of me.
And not Giannis. Look,
Giannis, dude. In that finals, because you remember, like when Kendrick Perkins was trying to start that stupid narrative that Chris Middleton was better than Giannis, like that's the reason why I don't take that dude seriously. Anybody with a brain would tell you that the best player on that team, the most important player on that team, is Giannis. Period. End of story.
Agreed.
And he proved that in the finals. But when it comes to for me, like when it comes to a top 10 list, I think that why would I not think that Kevin Durant don't deserve at least a mention in the top spot with his performance? Like and mind you, he's coming off of an Achilles injury. Coming off of the Achilles, and he's still balling like he never left. He looked incredible.
Yeah, but the thing with Kevin Durant, I think he already reached his peak. I don't see him getting any better than he is now. Giannis is already dominating the league, and he's going to get better.
No, I agree with that. I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
Yeah, he's going to get better, and he's already dominating the league now. And so.
But like I said, but when they were one on one, when they were head to head, like
Giannis won.
Giannis won. Yeah, he did win, but he was an inch of a shoe away from losing that series. He was literally like a shoe size away from losing that series. That can't go unnoticed.
Yeah,
that can't go unnoticed. When you lose your top two stars, and you have to depend on two, he lost both of them.
No,
he lost both of them. He lost both of them.
James Harden played.
Barely. He wasn't the same guy. You know that.
Yeah, he wasn't the same guy, but it was still evenly matched between the two teams.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't. No, it was not.
Yeah, it was.
The reason why they won those games was because was Kevin Durant. because of Durant. That's why. If it seemed evenly matched to you, it's because of Durant.
You honestly you do you honestly believe that if Kyrie and James Harden never got hurt, that it would have been a easy matchup between the two of them?
Yeah, I do
No,
think so. I
no.
do think so.
Giannis and the Bucks would have not been able to compete against that team if they were
Yeah,
healthy.
that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said.
Okay. So
But when, but when,
with
but
them being
when,
injured, it became evenly matched. And when it was evenly matched, Giannis proved that he was the better player.
but he was like I said, he was an inch. He was a shoe size away from losing that series. So what would you have said then?
That Kevin Durant proved that he was the best player.
Yeah, and that's my thing. That's my thing with you. Like everything with you is always black and white. Everything with you is black and white. So why? How can you? If the difference between how good they are is literally like a shoe size away from each other, then why are you so definitive that Giannis is the better player right now? Again, we're
Because
talking we're talking about we're talking about right now. We're
yeah,
talking about right now. We're not talking about future. We're not talking about future because, like I said, I agree with you that when you look at the future, like Kevin Durant, I still think he can still be great for a long time. Like I do believe he's that type of talent. But I believe that Giannis is good enough to get better and better and better. Like when he can create his own shot, when he create his own outside shot, and and stuff like that. Like I believe that. But I'm talking about for this year. Why is it such a big deal that Durant is ahead when they're literally
because
like this close to each other?
because Giannis is the champ, not KD. Giannis is the champ, and
I
he's the
mean,
final. He
to my knowledge, to my
he's
knowledge,
and
to
he's the
my knowledge,
and he's the Finals MVP.
to my knowledge.
And he showed not only did he show how he is elite when it comes to dominating on the offensive end, he is elite on the defensive end.
Okay,
You,
but
you
to my
like
knowledge,
you can't ignore that. And for me, this is the exact same situation like I told you before. When Michael Jordan announced his retirement, instantly who became the best player in the league? Shaq. Despite the fact that you had Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady, you had Allen Iverson, and you had,
are you talking about the second time? Okay,
yeah. When you talk about all those guys who could shoot better, who could dribble the ball better, who could facilitate better, Shaq still became the best player in the league, despite the fact of all of those other abilities, of the other abilities that the other players possessed. It didn't matter because Shaq was still able to dominate the whole entire league and prove that he cannot be beat. Giannis did that last year,
okay,
despite the fact that KD is the better shooter, that Harden is the better shooter, that Kyrie is the better shooter. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. So what? He still became the champ.
okay. Um, First of all, I like how you do narrative switching now, because when I always told you the difference between Harden and Giannis, you didn't want to hear nothing about the defensive end. I like how you switch that up now.
That's not
But
true.
secondly,
But go ahead.
no, regardless, all those accolades that you put on Giannis, Durant's already done that twice. Finals MVP twice,
Yeah.
World NBA
No,
champion twice,
do not get me started.
NBA champion twice.
Do not get me started. That those finals wins are fraudulent, and you know it.
No, they're not fraud. They're not
Yes,
fraudulent.
yes, they are. Yes,
No,
they
they're
are.
not.
Yes, they
No,
are.
they're not.
They're shams. Why? Because there was absolutely no way any other team will be able to compete against that Golden State team.
All right,
Absolutely not.
okay. So what?
Absolutely not.
So what?
That matters. That
No,
matters
no.
because you are winning by default. That's why. By default. How in the world was LeBron James or anybody else will be able to compete against that team?
That's not Golden State's problem.
You are talking
That's
about a
not Golden State's
team.
problem.
You are talking about a team that not only did they win a championship, they lost only 9 games. 9. And you add an elite top 5, top 3, or top 2 player in that exact same team that only lost 9 games. How the hell do you expect anybody to compete against that? You
That,
are you are literally the Avengers with two Incredible Hulks.
who
There's no
cares?
way that you could be able to compete.
Who cares?
So of course, he was going to win.
Who
That's common
cares?
sense.
Who
Of course, he was
cares?
going to win. Of
Who
course,
cares? Let me ask you a question. If you were the GM of Golden State and Kevin Durant wanted to come to your team, you would say no.
I'm not blaming Golden State. I'm blaming KD. I'm not
Okay,
blaming Golden State. It's KD. That dude did not want to compete.
but you said that the championship was fraudulent. So therefore you
Exactly.
so
For
therefore
him.
you
For
are
him.
no, he his name's on the he's the Finals MVP. Regardless of how you feel, he's there. He's there. Whether you want to admit it or not, he's there. And what makes what makes the championship that he won in Golden State any less fraudulent than he would going to Brooklyn, where they have Kyrie and James Harden on the same team? Wouldn't you feel like it was
Hold
just
on,
as
hold on.
fraudulent?
Somebody, Ethan. Welcome, Ethan. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, you know who that is?
No.
Well, I appreciate you joining this podcast. And he says Giannis won one ring and got everyone's respect. Meanwhile, four-time champion still demanding his damn respect.
He's referring to LeBron.
LeBron James.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
uh,
look. I'm not like this is not an anti Giannis discussion. When I always told this dude, and he somehow seemed to forget now, because the argument between MVP between Giannis and James Harden, when I always told him that I would 100 times out of 100 pick Giannis, was because of all the stuff that he now all of a sudden heaps praise on Giannis for because he won a championship. You know
yeah,
what I
he
mean?
won a championship.
And it's like I saw this before he won a championship, and I said this even if he didn't win a championship. Like his greatness is there. Like he's also like he's going to be great no matter what. You know what I mean? But it's just great now that he was able to go over the hump and win a championship. Like I take nothing away from that. But this notion that you have to be offended that Kevin Durant, who without his two best players, still was just a half a shoe inch away from beating that team. They were half a shoe inch away from beating the champions. The only team that put them that threatened them was was his team without his two best players, Durant. And honestly, he reminded everybody how great he is.
Nobody is saying that Kevin Durant's not great. I just believe that ever since Kyrie got hurt, I believe the two teams were evenly matched, and Giannis proved that he was the better player because
And
he beat KD. Because look, let's be real here. I already know what you're going to say, but I'm going to say this again. KD and that Golden State team, nobody was not going to beat that team if they were healthy. Nobody, nobody's not beating that team.
That's not
Now,
KD's problem.
now with Kyrie Irving and James Harden and KD, if those guys were healthy, nobody's beating that team.
Okay.
Nobody's beating that team.
Okay. But you said that the Golden State championships are fraudulent. Wouldn't you feel the same way about Brooklyn?
Absolutely. Dude, you cannot sit here and because remember, the Bucks lost game 1 and game 2 until I believe that's how it went. They lost both 1 and 2, and it wasn't even close.
I'm good.
You there?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm good. Go ahead.
Now, Giannis, remember, he lost both game 1 and game 2, and it wasn't even close. There's absolutely no way that team is going to lose if they were healthy. Nobody could compete because you basically have an all-star team and for that franchise. So how do you expect anybody to compete against that? This is the reason why I said that Golden State team Wait, adding KD. Remember, mind you, who already won a championship, then only
They didn't win.
losing
They didn't win a championship that year. You keep ignoring that.
what
You keep ignoring that.
they did win a
That didn't
championship.
not that year. The year they won 72 games, they didn't win the championship that year.
Yeah, because the league gave Cleveland a platter by suspending Draymond Green. That's why.
For game 6 or game 7?
That's why.
For game 6 or game 7?
Game 6.
Okay, was it game 7?
No.
No, it wasn't. The stupidest narrative in sports right now is the fact that they said that Draymond Green cost Golden State that championship.
It's
No,
true.
he did not. No,
Yeah,
he did not. No, he didn't.
He did.
No, because he played in game 7 and he was their best player in game 7. The person who didn't show up was Steph Curry. That's who didn't show up. And at the end of the day, despite winning 72 games, they didn't get the job done.
They still won a championship beforehand.
Okay, was it 2016 or 2015? What did the championship say?
Okay, but they still won a championship already.
No. What did the championship say? 2015 or 2016?
They won in 2015.
Okay. Do they have a 2016 championship?
No.
Then the season was a failure.
Okay, but there was
abject failure.
It doesn't matter. They were still a championship team at the end of the day.
Not that year.
They were still a championship team, and they were still. They still would have. They still. Okay.
Not that year.
That's fine.
Not that year.
Okay, that's fine. They still would have dominated the whole entire league the following year.
Except they didn't.
They did.
Except they didn't.
They did.
They didn't win the championship at the end of the day. Did they?
Because Draymond Green got suspended. That bogus suspension.
Played game 7.
That suspension was bogus. That series should have been over already.
Game 7.
That series should have been over.
If you are a 72 game winning team who can't win one fucking game at home, you don't deserve a championship. You don't. They realized that. So what did they do? They got the best player in the game. That's what they did. They got a guy who when the threes don't get knocked down, when the post is clogged, you need someone to get 2 points, and they got the best player available to give them 2 points, and that's Kevin Durant. That's not Kevin Durant's fault. No,
that's why he doesn't get his respect, and he knows it. And he knows it. That's why he's arguing with fans. He's arguing with people at the media because he knows deep down that finals MVP in the NBA finals doesn't mean anything.
That's a character flaw in him.
That doesn't mean anything. It's crap. It's garbage. That's what it is. Garbage. Because there's absolutely no way nobody was going to compete against that team. No way.
And that's what you do in the offseason. You construct teams that no one else can beat. That's common sense, Steve. Like I said before, the way that he acts on Twitter is dumb. Absolutely dumb. But at the end of the day, that don't change the fact that he won those 2 championships. Because that's what that's what he was there for. He was there to help them get back to the top. That's why he was there.
They were already at the top.
No, they weren't. They got knocked down a peg by Cleveland, a team they should have beaten, but they didn't.
Because, at the end of the day, that bogus suspension.
A suspension for a game for game 6, not game 7.
You mean to tell me that couldn't have been a momentum changer? You honestly don't think that you honestly don't think that was a momentum changer? And
they had their chances to win the game. They had their chances to win, and they didn't. At the end of the day, they had game 7 on their home floor.
Yeah, when you have to
face 72, when you win 72 games in the regular season, I expect you to win one fucking game on your home floor, and they didn't.
When you have to,
so what did they do?
Your opposing team, and you also have to face Adam whatever his name is. Yeah, the chances of you winning is not.
You don't know the guy's name.
Adam.
You know,
Yeah, whatever his last name is. I keep
whatever.
pronounce his last
Removing
name.
Kyrie and unhealthy heart. Okay, here's what Ethan said. Removing Kyrie and unhealthy Harden doesn't equal Bucks and Nets.
Let me see.
So,
Removing
okay, and then
Kyrie.
let me yeah, and then Giannis, Holiday, Middleton, Lopez, and Tucker not equals to KD, unhealthy Harden, Griffin, and Jeff Green. I agree with him there. I agree with him
I
there.
don't know, cause you don't think
'Cause-
Blake Griffin was a
no,
factor in that game
no, no,
in that series.
no. He's not. He's not. He's not. He's not better than. He's not better than Holiday, Lopez, Middleton, or Tucker. He's not. He's washed. He just looked better because he's on a better team.
I think he's better than
But
Tucker.
Blake
I think
Griffin's
he's
a lot
better
more
than Tucker, and I think he's better than
Okay,
Lopez.
look. We can argue over 1 and 2, but the next several best players on that team, without Kyrie and without Harden, are all Bucks players. And despite all of that, he still almost was just one shoe size away from beating that team. That's it. Like, you don't have to like Kevin Durant, but don't sit here and deny his greatness.
No.
Don't
I
deny
never
it.
I never
No, no,
said
no,
that.
no. You're no. You are doing that
No, I'm not.
when you discredit his championships, when you
Yes, at Golden
discredit his
State.
Finals
Yes,
MVPs.
and Golden
Then you
State.
don't.
Yes.
Then you're disrespecting his greatness.
No. Don't try that. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but that Golden State team was going to beat anybody.
That don't matter.
That Golden State team was far
And,
beyond an all-star team.
okay,
That's an all-star.
whatever. No, it don't matter.
That's an
It don't
all-star
matter.
team.
That's not his problem. That's not his problem.
How is it that you can expect any other team in the whole entire league to compete against an all-star team?
That's not his problem. That's not his problem. That's not his problem.
Four
Look at
out of the five guys on there were all-stars.
Look at the first championship that Golden State won. Who was their biggest challenger?
A challenger like LeBron James.
No. There was a series before that where they almost lost to this team.
You're talking about OKC.
Yeah. Who had a stacked team, a team that was already a team that already had experience in the finals with their best player Kevin Durant and their second best player Russell Westbrook. Okay? Another argument that we had where I was proven correct. Right? Even you admitted that I was ultimately correct in that conversation where you thought that Westbrook was the better player.
For that 1 year, yeah. I thought he was better for that 1 year.
Wait, get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Just
Get the hell out of here. You've been disrespecting this dude's name for years. You've been disrespecting this dude for years.
No, I have not.
And I'm telling you.
No.
And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, give the man his respect because he proved that he's still an elite player even after that Achilles injury where players do not come back from.
Do I believe that Kevin Durant is a top 2, top 3 player? Absolutely. Do I think he's number 1? No. That's not being disrespectful. That's not being disrespectful.
No. The
problem that you have is what a lot of NBA fans have, and what a lot of people in the media have. You're taking the guy's skill, his shooting ability, and you're automatically going to use that as a pedestal to say that he's the better player than Giannis. Giannis showed that despite the fact that he is not as good a shooter as a KD or as a Kyrie, or is it James Harden or Steph Curry, he still won a championship anyway. He still dominated the league anyway.
He was a shoe size away from losing.
Once again, this is why I keep bringing this up, because you seem to not
a shoe size away from losing.
You seem to not get it. This is the exact same situation that happened with Shaquille O'Neal. Who cares that Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter and Allen Iverson were better shooters? Who cares? He still dominated the league anyway. It didn't matter that they were better shooters. He still won, and he still dominated the league. Nobody could beat him. Nobody could touch him. And Giannis did that last year.
you're only saying this
And
because he
Giannis
won a
did that
championship.
last year.
And you only saying this because he won
Giannis
a
did.
championship.
Giannis
That's
did
it.
that last year.
And
Same
you're
thing with
only saying this
same
because
same
I
thing.
said
Hold
because
on, hold
I
on, hold
said
on, hold on,
so.
hold on. This is the same thing. What happened with Tim Duncan? Best power forward in the whole of all time. Of all time, you still had guys that were better shooters. You still had guys that were better facilitators. You still had guys that were better free throw shooters and better 3-point shooters. But it didn't matter. Tim Duncan still dominated the league, despite the fact that he didn't have all the necessary skills that the other players have. It didn't matter. That's the problem that you have. You constantly taking the guy's skill and you automatically going to put him ahead of the other guy. Allen Iverson is a way better skill player than Tim Duncan. Does that make him better? Hell no.
Wait, what?
Allen Iverson. He's a far
better
better
what?
as far as skills, like shooting the ball, dribbling, whatever. He
Well,
is
he's a
far.
point guard. Like he should be able to dribble.
That still doesn't mean just because he's a very skillful guy, a very talented guy, that doesn't mean that he's better than Tim Duncan. So to me, in my opinion, just because Kevin Durant is the better shooter, that does not mean that he's the better player. Giannis is wait, hold on. He's a much better player as far as going to the post. He's a far more better defender than KD. He's a far more dominant player than KD, and he proved that by winning the championship, not KD.
Did he prove that against KD?
Yeah.
His team won. Like he didn't prove anything against KD. He didn't.
Okay.
The only reason why you're saying all of this now is because he won a championship. Because all this stuff about Giannis was true before, and yet I had to hear you gushing over James Harden, who can't play a lick of, who at the time, especially at the time, couldn't play a lick of defense. And the only thing he was known for was traveling while shooting threes and falling down afterwards. That's what he's
traveling.
known for. And ball hogging.
You let LeBron James slide with traveling all the time, but you only want to use that against James Harden. Okay.
Look, if you're gonna travel while, hey, listen, like if you're gonna do that while you're playing for the Heat, I'm fine with that. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain. Like, you know what I mean?
My gosh.
Hey, okay. Here's my ultimate point, and then after that, then let's go, because we passed 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Again, we passed 2 hours.
Yeah, we did.
Let me say this, right? The reason why I would put KD above Giannis, right?
You're only saying that because of that list.
No.
You said it the other day that Giannis was better.
No,
You
let
did.
me
You
explain.
did.
Let me explain. Right? And even though if Giannis was number one, I wouldn't care either. I wouldn't care either way. The only reason why I would put KD number one is because I think that what he showed without his two best players in that series, he showed me that at the end of the day, the alpha male on that team is him. The best player on that team was him. I think you said that James Harden was the better player on the team, especially earlier on.
Yeah.
When he came in and he was playing very well and all this other stuff, right? But what it showed,
because they also said that he was runner for MVP and not KD, at least at the time.
Okay, regardless of all that, like when it came down, especially when he didn't have his two players, he showed out big time. His best moments in the playoff was in that series, and he was literally a shoe size away from beating that Milwaukee Bucks team, who at the time was a lot better than the Nets when it comes to player to player, and he was a shoe size away from beating that team. So and like I said, and props to Giannis. Like Giannis had a all time great finals. 100%. I like major props to him.
Elite on both ends. Elite.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Despite the fact that
elite on both ends.
Despite the fact that he's not a good of a shooter as Chris Paul or Booker, he was still elite on both ends.
100%. 100%. Yeah. No, 100%. No denying that. No denying that. To me, like me personally, I just find the performance that Kevin Durant had to be a little bit more. Like again, it literally is comparing apples and oranges. And that's not what I'm into. I'm not into having discussions about apples and oranges. I'm not. But at the end of the day, if they say that Kevin Durant's number one, I don't have a problem with that. Like I don't have a problem as long as Giannis and Durant are one and two, I'm fine with it. Because those two are the top two players in my opinion right now.
So you're saying that if ESPN put Giannis at number one, you'd be okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely,
Oh, okay. All right.
absolutely. I have no problem. I have no problem with that. The person here who I think is a little bit too high on the list, if I had to think about it right now, is Luca.
Yeah, he's number 4 right now.
Yeah,
Where would you put him?
honestly, I
And
would
who would you replace him with? You already heard what I said about Anthony Davis. Well, go ahead.
honestly I would put Luca at number. I would put Luca at number 10. Honestly, and mainly because I just think that he just need. I just think that he just needs to do more
Wait,
for that franchise.
number 10?
Yeah, I would put him number 10. So I
Okay.
would slide everyone who's behind him up a spot and put him at number 10.
So that means Joel Embiid is better, Jokic is better,
Yeah,
Damian Leonard is
yeah.
better.
Based on reputation, based on accomplishments, I would put Luka number 10.
So you're going to use tenure against him now.
Hmm? No, yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's not a big deal. Like, but they have to win. They have to win a playoff series. Like he has to make them a top contender in the Western Conference. I don't know if he has the overall team to do it, but like the numbers need the team success is important. Team
Okay.
success is important.
How do you feel about Curry being number 5?
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with that because he himself, like even though he really had nobody, like even though he didn't really have anybody as his second best player, like he still got them to the playoffs.
But you know what? I would lower Luca. You know what? Yeah, I would put. I actually would put Steph Curry at number 4. I would put Steph Curry at number 4, and you're gonna laugh at me when I say this, but
Hmm.
I'm putting James Harden at number 5.
Okay.
I'm putting James Harden as number 5. 10 is way too low.
Even though he can't, even though he's not historically not a great defender, but
He
it's fine.
proven that
Like,
he can play defense now. He already showed that he
okay,
can play defense now.
okay, and you were capping for him when he didn't play defense.
Yeah, but now he can play defense,
Oh, okay.
especially in the post. He can play defense.
Ethan said that he would rather have Luka and Jokic over LeBron. In the future, yeah, because those guys are younger.
Oh, he said that. Let me see.
Yeah,
Let me take a look at this. I would rather have Luca and Jokic over LeBron. Well, LeBron is number 3, and I think at this point he's proven enough that he's still a top 5 guy. He's still good in his scoring. He's still good at facilitating. He's still rebounding. He's still having average what I think it was like 7 assists,
hmm
something like that. You could correct me if I'm wrong. So he has the numbers to prove that he's still the top guy in my opinion, and that
yeah. I
he can
just feel
still
like
dominate.
until they show until he shows that he's washed, or at least declining, then I have to. I can't. It's kind of like with Tom Brady, right? Like I'm waiting for Tom Brady to stop to stop being good. You know what I mean? And like it's not happening. So I can't
Well,
really just say.
Tom Brady, I don't think he's I think there's a whole bunch of guys that's better than him right now. He didn't
Yeah,
even play.
but
He didn't play good in that last game anyway.
yeah, that's true. That's true. But like but I'm waiting for the time when Tom Brady becomes bad, becomes awful, and that's not happening. Right?
Uh,
Because I watched Marino become bad at the end, right? And you look at some of these great players and obviously due to age or injury or both, they don't look as good as they do anymore.
yeah, I
And
agree with that.
I'm waiting for that to happen to Tom Brady, and it's not happening. And I'm not seeing it happen with LeBron James, so I'm not gonna act like he's getting washed. You know what I mean? Like I have to see it happen before I believe it.
So are you okay with LeBron at number three?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like I
Okay.
said, the only thing I would do with the list, honestly, is move Luca down to 10
All right. Let's
and
look at
move everyone else up one spot.
all right. Let's look at the list one last time, and then we'll end this podcast because
Hmm.
I want to get a good visual of what you said. So you said you would only move Luca.
Yeah.
You move Luca from number 4 to number 10.
Hmm. And
Okay.
everyone else moves up. So that means Curry would be 4, Jokic would be
Okay.
5, Embiid 6, Litter 7, 8.
Yeah.
8 would be who would be 8.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, Davis would be 8, Harden would be 9, and Luca would be 10.
Yeah. So for my final, oh no, I don't care about top 12. All right. Yeah. For me, I'm moving.
Wait. Is Paul George in the top 15?
Yeah, he's top 12, I think.
Yeah, whatever.
Beal is at 11. I don't know how he got that
No,
high.
absolutely not. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm a big fan of Bradley Beal, but no.
And Chris Paul's at 13,
Mm.
Tatum's at 14, and Book is at 15. So there's your top 15.
Okay, I'm fine with that for the most part, but
Yeah.
Paul George, absolutely not. Like, fuck out of here with that. And no,
Yeah, I'm surprised he. I wouldn't put him above Donovan Mitchell or Trey Young. Not with the performance that they had after that performance.
no. I
No,
mean,
I would.
I give him props for stepping up in the playoffs when he had to, but he's not a top 15 player in my opinion. But anyway, we're
But
just
yeah,
gonna.
so like I was saying, James Harden, I'm moving him all the way to at the number 5 spot.
Mhm.
So Steph Curry goes to number 4. Luca and LeBron stays in number 3. I'm fine with him staying in number 3. You already know how I feel about Giannis and Kevin Durant.
Mhm.
I'm putting Giannis at number 1, Kevin Durant at number 2, or if I know some people put LeBron at number 2 and Kevin Durant at 3. I like okay, okay. We really do have to go, but here's what I have to say. I think because of LeBron James, all of his abilities that he could still do, in the court, I don't think it's far fetched to say that he is better than KD. Still, I know some people, the LeBron James fans, still put him at the top 2. I get it, because how he proven that he's the top guy and whatever. But I think Kevin Durant definitely has earned, the spot to surpass LeBron James at the very least what he did last year, the very least. So that's my opinion on that. And as far as as far as everybody else, yeah, everybody else is fine except Anthony Davis. I take him out and I put Kawhi.
Mhm.
Like I said before, I take him out and I put Kawhi, at the number 9 spot. I'm okay with Leonard at 8, Joel Embiid at 7. I'm okay with that. And no, actually, I switch Joel Embiid and Luca. I mean, whatever his name is,
Mhm.
Jokic. I
Mhm.
switched these two.
Oh, so you think Embiid is the better center?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I think with because of his size and his thickness, that he could dominate the league much more than Jokic can. But it's a toss up. Like it's not crazy, but
Mhm.
it's a toss up. So yeah, that's basically my top 10. Once again, I don't think Anthony Davis deserves to be top 10 yet. So yeah, there you go. That's my list.
All right then. All right. Well, like, again, another 2-hour podcast. But
Oh,
anyways,
he asked one more question. Question time. More complete player, Luca or Jokic?
honestly, I think they're the same. Honestly, I think they're the same. And
Honestly,
I
I
think,
yeah. Go ahead.
and the thing is that the thing that both these guys have to get better at is defense. They have to be better. They have to be better defenders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I understand Jokic is Jokic. With Jokic, he is who he is at this point. I think he's just slow. He's just slow footed. But I think that if Luca can be more of a difference maker defensively, he don't have to be elite, but he has to be a better defender than he is right now. I would the answer would actually be Luca. But right now I feel like they're the same player, to be honest with you. Yeah, I just feel like they're similar players. They play different positions, but I feel like their games are similar as far as what they can do. They're both, obviously both men can score. Great facilitators. You know, obviously, great rebounder. Maybe Luca might be a better rebounder than Jokic. I don't know. I don't have the stats in front of me, but yeah, like to me, I feel like they're the same.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think the skill set is very very similar. I do think obviously Luca is a bit more, obviously he's more athletic,
Hmm.
because of the size difference. Um, as far as the defense goes, I'm not impressed with their defense at all.
No.
To be honest with you, whether if it's team defense or stopping the guy on ball, whatever, I don't
Yeah.
think their defense is as
Yeah,
is
I don't
not
feel
as
like
much.
either guy makes a big difference defensively. You know what I mean?
Now they're still top 10 guys.
Hmm.
Let's not get that twisted. They're still top 10 guys, but I think the position that they're in is fine. Right where they are.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Ethan, I really appreciate you participating. Um,
Everyone, Titanfall Princess, Ryan Meadows, that trolling jackass,
yeah,
Yoshi, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys
yeah.
for.
This was yeah. This was obviously fantastic. Yeah, we got to do better. With the time. I don't know if we should have like a timer on our screen or something like that, because I really do like the way how PTI does their do their show when they try to cover as much topics as they can. But we could probably do that some other time. But yeah, once
No,
again,
no, no.
no, no, no. I'm just saying maybe a suggestion that could probably when we expand or something like that. When we get bigger and we get a bigger
Mhm,
audience or whatever. But let me say my piece first, and then you can say yours.
mhm.
This was a fantastic podcast. I'm really happy that we were able to touch base on the Ric Flair topic. You mentioning Jon Jones. Obviously, this top 10. Now, before I end this podcast, I want to say we're going to get another episode 5, which we're going to be talking about the anthem, the national anthem. How we basically have two anthems now. We basically have the original traditional anthem, and now we have they call it the black national anthem. And obviously, I have a problem with that. I think we should stick with just one anthem. I think holding tradition is the best way to go, because the U.S. flag, in my opinion, is what actually symbolizes overall unity. There isn't anything else that we need except the U.S. flag and the anthem that we currently use.
Are you really
So
gonna tell them everything that you're gonna tell them your
thi- thi-
entire
thi-
opinion before you go in the podcast?
look. No, my overall opinion is that we don't need to, but I have other stuff that I want to say. But you guys, please stay tuned, because when are we going to do the next one?
Um, I don't know. Like if I feel like doing one on
Oh, we
Thursday,
gotta
I'm gonna
let
do
them
it on
know.
Thursday.
We gotta let them know.
Well, I don't know. Like I don't know what life has in store for me. Like if I have something to do on Thursday, then I won't be able to do it on Thursday. So
Let's do it Thursday. You're off Thursday. Let's do
yeah,
it
I am
Thursday.
off Thursday, but that doesn't mean I don't have other stuff to do.
Thursday. Let's do it Thursday. Let's do Thursday.
It's either Thursday or Monday. Thursday or next Monday.
No, Thursday. Let's stick to Thursday.
Thursday or next Monday.
Ethan, Nintendo Gamer, we are going to be doing this Thursday, same time, 8 p.m. Avenel, commit to 8 p.m. please.
I ain't committing to shit. I already told you. Like if I have something to do, I'm gonna do it. All right.
All right.
Like I said.
Anyways, um, that's basically another topic that we will discuss this Thursday. So I really hope you guys come back on Thursday at 8 p.m. Thank you again, for joining us. God bless you all. This is the Traditionalist 101 signing out, and have a good one.
This Hoovy 186, and I'm only gonna say one thing on that topic that we're gonna be discussing. Either it's gonna be on Thursday or Monday.
Thursday.
But I like how we hold up traditions to the white people who made those traditions. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.